everybody, it's Kellen Brower here from RacerX, back again with the final race examination from Salt Lake City 2. We've been on a long hiatus from racing, so we thought it was a good idea to take this week and look back at what we saw last time everybody hit the track at the same time at the finale in Supercross as we head into Lucas Oil Pro Motocross this weekend. And of course, the storyline was Cooper Webb and Ken Roczen in their title fight. It wasn't much of a fight. Webb didn't really need to finish that high in the race, but he was still going for it and wanted to win the race while Roczen was trying to hold him off and keep him behind early on. Then Chase Sexton found another gear in the whoops and was absolutely flying through them to get around Cooper Webb and then do pretty much the exact same thing to his teammate Ken Roczen for the lead a few laps later. And that would pay dividends for him for a lot of the race, but it would hurt him later in the race when he started getting a little bit more fatigued and Webb would eventually catch him. But here's the pass Sexton finally made to get around Roczen for the lead. This was closing up on the halfway mark of the race, but as mentioned, Webb would eventually catch back up to Roczen, and then he does this great move here to break early into the corner and then push Roczen wide out of the first corner. So again, this is the last time we saw these guys. Webb taking advantage of Roczen faltering late in the race, and this is just a smart move right here to let Roczen kind of outbreak into the corner. Webb slides up the inside and gives him a little bit of a nudge to push him out and continue on and get away because Roczen's not able to jump into the section. So again, good racecraft by Webb to react to what Roczen was doing there and take advantage of it. And then, of course, Cooper Webb would catch and pass Chase Sexton late in the race to go on and take the victory at Salt Lake City 2, which is kind of what we saw of Webb all season long. He was so strong late in the races, always would seem to find another gear and catch everybody late in the race and put on some tremendous late charges. Is that the same Webb we're going to see outdoors? It's going to be interesting to see as we start this weekend in Fox Raceway, but Webb certainly showed some serious true form in Supercross late in the championship to wrap it up and kind of wrap it up with ease in the end as he takes the finale win and heads into the outdoors with a ton of momentum off his Supercross title. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by onX Off-Road. Nowhere to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 400,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the onX Off-Road app today. So in the 250 East-West Showdown, it was Colt Nichols ripping a hole shot from an outside gate, and a lot like Cooper Webb in the 450 class, Nichols did not need to win the race to win the 250 East Championship. So a lot of people thought he might be taking it easy at the finale, but instead he gets out front and is trying to sprint away early on to maybe get away from the field and not have to deal with any shenanigans and go on to win the race and the championship. But he had Seth Hammaker and the Lawrence brothers behind him early on, and Jett Lawrence would take advantage of Hammaker very early on in the race, similar to what Chase Sexton was doing in the 450 main event, just down the right side of the whoops, getting a better drive and just kind of charging into them a little bit harder. And Hammaker tries to make a comeback here, but Lawrence just going to close the line off and hold it steady into the next corner. And then Jett would actually catch up to Nichols and start working on the same exact pass that he had set up on Hammaker, which was get a drive down the right side of the whoops and just charge them a little bit harder, stay on the back, and get on by for the race lead. So Jett would take off out front, but a lot of eyes were on Hunter Lawrence and what he was trying to do behind this group because Hunter wanted to finish second in the championship. The Lawrence brothers were only going to get bonus money if they finished second or higher in the championship. So he tries to get around Hammaker there early in the race and goes down and actually loses a spot to Cameron McAdoo, crucially, as McAdoo slides by, and that would be a pass for second in the championship at that time. So Lawrence here, he just kind of outbraked himself coming to the inside of the corner, and lucky it wasn't worse there to not, put his hand out wrong or dab his foot weird or something like that. But there you go. You see McAdoo going by him, and they were so close in the points that really whoever beat whom would be second in the championship. So Lawrence, later in the race, after getting up and charging all the way back to get to McAdoo, who of course was ailing from his crashes at Atlanta, was able to finally get around the number 31 machine and solidify himself as second place in that 250 West Championship, which again comes with a lot of bonus money. So a lot on the line there for him. But out front, it was Jett versus Colt for much of the race, but Jett would basically just hold on and keep a close gap and an eye on Nichols most of the race to win the finale. But Nichols, of course, was more focused on winning the championship than anything, which he does with a nice second place finish, and he never finished off the podium in all 9 rounds of the championship, which is the first time that's been done since Marvin Musquin in 2015. Justin Cooper, he cruised home to a 9th place finish to wrap up the 250 West Championship, so both Star Racing Yamahas clinch the opposite coast titles. The Lawrence brothers, though, they're stoked. Jett gets the win. Hunter finishes on the podium and second in his championship. I like this one. A lot of people don't like the bike throw, but I think it was a pretty solid one. He kind of outruns his coverage there, so I think in the Olympics he'd be scored poorly, but I'm going to give him a solid 8.5 out of 10 on that one. It was a good bike launch, and they both were very happy with their night. nights. Of course, elation from Colt Nichols after all he's been through to win the championship. So good to see the emotion from him. And then Justin Cooper, he tosses a pair of goggles into the crowd, so that's going to be a collector's item for somebody, and continues on his way. But congrats to both of those guys winning championships after a lot of adversity for Cooper with some of the injuries he's been through, and then of course Nichols has been through the whole gamut as well. So great to see those two win the championships, and now let's see how they can carry that momentum into the outdoors coming up this weekend.